Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Game From Scratch, and next week should be the most exciting week for game development. It's when all of the news, all of the greatest updates, everything else all tends to come out. This was sort of like the time of year for game development news. And then unfortunately, something happened. Now unfortunately, I can't actually tell you what happened because this will get demonetized and censored and you'll never actually see it. But I think if you look on screen, you'll see the reason why GDC was postponed, and I think everybody in the entire world now understands exactly why this happened, except for the way that YouTube is dealing with it. Not ideal. So yeah, something happened. Game Development Conference for 2020 this year was postponed, which also kind of means canceled. Let's be honest, it's not going to happen until 2021 at this point in time. But on the bright side, some stuff is going to happen, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Something much happier than just talking about a postponed Game Developer Conference, and that is the online or virtual version of it that's going to be coming out. So GDC released their virtual line, or I guess the real lineup of GDC 2020 virtual talks and the award streams that can be shown next week. So there's a little bit of information up on GDC. I will link all of these articles in the linked article down below, so don't worry about that all that much. But what you're going to be most interested in is this guy right here. This is the list of virtual talks. It is a schedule of things that are going to be shown on their Twitch station. So you have an idea of the GDC content that you don't even have to go. You don't have to be subscribed. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is tune into their Twitch channel, which I'll show you in just a second. And yeah, everything is there and available for you. So if you were not intending to attend GDC, in some ways, you know, there is a bright side here. You're probably going to get more access to content than you would have otherwise. So what we're going to do in this video is take a quick look at what is in this initial list of talks. Now, do keep in mind, this is GDC and all kinds of products were lined up. You know, there's always product announcements and launches. There might be a virtual talk from Unreal Engine or Unity or so on. I will cover those as best as possible. So if you're still interested in all of the GDC but not GDC news, stay tuned to this channel. I will cover it as much as I can get my hands on. But here is the schedule of virtual talks that are going to be run by GDC. So we've got the Kind Postmortem, Storytelling with Verbs, Intrinsically Motivated Teams, Manager's Toolbox, Assassin's Creed, Dark Eye, The Importance of Themes, Representing LGBT plus characters in games, 2 case studies, The Sound of Anthem, Is Your Game Cross-Platform Ready? We've got forgiveness mechanics, reading minds for responsive gameplay, and then we've got experimental AI, lightning talk, hyper-realistic artificial voices for games. So that is the first day of virtual talks. I don't know if we're going to have any kind of keynotes. I'd imagine that we're not, which is a bit unfortunate. The keynotes were my favorite part of GDC, if I'm honest about it. All right, so we'll get into the next part of the so we're on to Tuesday, I guess this would be. Tuesday, March 17th, we've got What to Write So People Buy, Selling Your Game Without Feeling Sleazy, Failure Workshop, Future Grind, How to Make a 6-month game in only 4.5 years, Stress-Free Game Development, Powering Up Your Studio with DevOps. We've got Baked In Accessibility, How Features Were Approached in Borderlands 3, Matchmaking for Engagement, Lessons from Halo 5, Forget CPI, Dynamic Mobile Marketing. We've got integrating sound healing methodologies into your workflow, from 0 to 1,000, a test-driven approach to tools development, overcoming creative block on Super Crush KO, and then we've got When Film, Games, and Theater Collide. So that is the extent for Tuesday. And then we move on to Wednesday. And Wednesday, we've got Bringing Replays to the World of Tanks Mercenaries, Developing and Running Neural Audio in Constrained Environments, Mental Health State of the Industry, Past, Present, and Future, Empathizing with Steam, How People Shop for Your Game, Scaling to 10 Concurrent Users, Online Infrastructure as an Indie, Crafting a Tiny Open World, A Short Hike Postmortem, Indie Soapbox UI Design is Fun, Don't Ship a Product, Ship Value, Starting Your Minimum Viable Product with a Solution, Day of Devs GDC Edition Direct, presented by Double Fine and I Am 8-Bit. And then we've got the awards, so the Independent Game Festival and Game Developer Choice. I'll keep an eye on that to see what comes out of this guy. Those are going to be from 5 to 8 on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, we have Machine Learning for Optimal Matchmaking, Skill Progression, Visual Attention, and efficiently getting goods at esports, making your game influencers ready, a marketing wish list for developers, how to run your own career fair on a tiny budget. You get a really eclectic mix of courses here, don't you? Making a healthy social impact in commercial games, Forza Monthly, live streaming a franchise, aesthetic-driven development, choosing your art before making a game, reading the rules of Baba Is You. And then we move on a little bit more. Friday, we're winding things down. We've got Beyond Games as a Service with Live Ops, Kill the Hero, Save the World, and we are done. So that is the schedule of virtual content, I guess you could say it. The big thing, obviously, is that Wednesday night at 5 to 8 p.m. I believe all these timestamps are in Eastern time. I didn't actually check that. Oh, yeah, it's got to be Eastern time. Oh, wait a minute. 9 a.m. Pacific time daily. All right, so this is going to be painful. No, that's noon for me. Okay, that's fine. It's just this Wednesday night. That's going to be a late night if I want to watch that. So all these times apparently were in Pacific time. So one of those things to be aware of. So if you're in the East, you got to get up by noon. If you're in the West, you got to get up by 9. If you're in another country, you don't really care. It's going to probably suck what time it is anyways. Another thing to keep in mind with GDC is generally, and if you haven't checked out the GDC Vault before, do so. They've got all kinds of previous talks from previous years worth of GDC. I imagine most of these particular things will ultimately end up in the Vault. So if you miss it, and they will probably also have it on their YouTube channel as well. So don't feel like obligated to set an alarm unless you want to see it like first time in through. But there is a very eclectic mix of things here, from AAA studios to indies. We got a lot of social stuff in there, some marketing stuff in there. So whatever you're into, there's probably something there for you. And there's not as much of the technical stuff as I would have liked to see. A lot of the technical courses and such didn't seem to have made the cut this time. But again, with the way they're streaming it, they can really only have one video at one time slot. So I guess they only had a certain amount to work with. But I really like the really technicals, like here's how you do X using blah library or whatever. I really like those kind of content, but these are more, I think, generally interesting to the audience anyways. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this lineup. Is there anything in there that really jumps out at you as an absolute must-see? Yeah. So anyways, that is that. Next up, if you are actually interested in grabbing this, it is going to be on Twitch. You can see this is Twitch, a site that I almost never use if I'm honest, but it is available at www.twitch.tv/GDC. And once again, it's going to be starting at, looks like noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, unless you guys didn't do daylight savings time this year. Another place you probably want to check out if you're into GDC is their Twitter. Their Twitter is available at official_GDC. All their events and details, including this thing that I'm writing this video on right now, it's posted pretty much live. So this just went live 57 minutes ago, the schedule of talks. And they're retweeting things that are relevant or whatever. So if you kind of want to follow GDC, but you can't be at GDC, follow official GDC for details. Also, if you go to the GDC Vault, which is available conveniently at gdcvault.com, you're going to find a ton of old stuff here. You can get it from the free content. They've actually got probably 80 to 90% of the stuff is actually available as free content. So if you've got a couple of weeks to spend at home for some strange reason that I can't mention, and you're looking for a way to fill it, and you're a game dev fan, do check this out, because all the content from GDC 2019 is up here. And again, you don't need a membership to access tons of it. So there's an absolute huge amount of content here by a number of different filters and criterias and so on. So do be sure to check that out. They've also got back issues of Game Developer Magazine available, and that was I still miss you, Game Developer Magazine. And like funny stories, I actually was commissioned to write an article like 2 issues before they went out of business, which kind of really made me sad, because I grew up with Game Developer Magazine, so I do miss you still to this day. All right, so that is it. That is the upcoming schedule of virtual talks over on the GDC site, so do be sure to check out that schedule. Again, everything is going to be shown on their Twitch channel. I wouldn't be surprised that you're going to find it later on, on a YouTube channel or somewhere else. But if you do want to check it out first time, it is on Twitch. So yeah, that's it. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday. And again, the one that you're going to want to bookmark is the awards show at, what was that? That was Wednesday at 5, I think. I'm pretty sure I'm not making that up. Yeah, right here. So that's probably the key one for a lot of people. That's the awards show. And it'd be interesting to see the Day of Dev stuff too. So that's the one that I'm definitely going to be tuning into. So if you don't hear from me on Wednesday Eastern time between, let's say, 7 and say midnight, that's why I'll be watching this. So let me know what you think of the conference in general. Were you going to be going, and then for reasons I can't say, not able to make it? Is this a good enough consolation prize? And if you weren't going to go, hey, you kind of get a freebie here. So let me know what you think of the courses in general, something you're most excited about. And again, stay tuned to the channel. I'm going to try my best this week to cover as much of the announcements. Hopefully we still get announcements. Hopefully we get new products, new game engines, new tools, new versions, and all that kind of stuff like we do every year. And if we do, stay tuned here because I will be sure to cover it. All right, that is it. Game Developer Conference 2020 Virtual Edition. Let me know if you're going to be virtually attending, and I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.